picked folk music to talk about today for a very special reason. A lot of you associate flute playing with bands and orchestras, and as of the latter part of the 20th century, with jazz music. However, the music of the folk world really suits itself well to playing with any instrument. And I know that at least a few of you out in TV land have played instruments through high school, maybe through college, either a flute or a clarinet, maybe a piano, maybe a violin. And then when you got through with your schooling, you put it away and you haven't touched your instrument again. Now, every once in a while you might think about it, but you don't do anything. Well, here's where folk music can be so lovely for you. It's simple. It contains some of the most beautiful music that's ever been written, and you can entertain yourself for many, many hours, picking up your chops again, dusting off your instrument, getting back to it, and then you can involve your friends and entertain them. I think a good place to start is with some of the most familiar folk songs that you know. I'm going to play Blow the Man Down. Will think that's great. You don't have to play Bach to have people enjoy what you do. Your stage fright while you're going on this new musical adventure. And that is memorize the lyrics of the songs that you're going to play. And when you play, think of the lyrics. For one thing, it takes the focus away from your nervousness, and it also makes the music more compelling. It's something that the great jazz player Miles Davis advised people to do all the time. It's something that can help you to make your melody sound more beautiful. I'm going to go over here now and pick up the alto flute, which is a lower, breathier sound than the C flute I've been playing, and we're going to do a few more songs. Now, if you're really at a picnic and everybody's had a couple beers, they're going to be real happy to be singing by now. And what better than What Shall We Do with the Drunken Sailor? music that I've been playing. You can play at parks, at parties, you can play for friends, you can play at home when you come home from work and you're really tired and bugged and you want to get away from it all, and it's bound to make you feel good. And here's some music that really makes you feel good. Now, you might not want to pull these out your first few times playing, but eventually you can. And what I'm talking about are Irish folk tunes. So I'm going to take my wonderful piccolo here, which they tell me was made in Germany and that the wood came from the Black Forest in Germany and has mystical powers. I don't know if that's true or not, but it always makes me feel good when I play it. Things to do in the past, playing music for weddings. Now that you've been playing for your friends at the park and you've got lots of confidence, why not tackle a wedding? You know, people do get married still, and sometimes they get married a lot, and maybe they don't want to have a formal wedding with a big band, but maybe even though this is their third or fourth or fifth wedding, maybe they'd like to have some music, and here's where you come in. You can play for them very simply, just you and your individual instrument, and I'm going to give you some ideas of what you can do. Now, we need a little music for people to come into the church or to the room where the wedding is going to take place. And it's always nice to have a little early music, maybe 17th century. And in this particular instance, I've picked a Gigue by Corelli, but again, I believe that this was based on a folk tune, and so we're still in our same genre, the folk song. This is a Gigue by Corelli. Everybody's seated, and the bride is ready to come in. And guess what? You can play the wedding march all by yourself. Listen to this. A short service, and then you're going to play the recessional. What else? So we have them all married now. What are we going to do? We've got to play some music for the reception. Now you get to go back to your real folk stuff. You get to go back to green sleeves. They'll forget by then that this is the last poor love you did me wrong. That's probably a previous spouse anyway. And we're going to do green sleeves and go back and do all of folk music that we did at the beginning of my program. And people will be so happy. They'll think you're wonderful. You'll have a great time. You'll get to meet a lot of new people, and who knows what can happen. It could lead you to a new adventure. more somber occasions, again, your single instrument can come in very handy. Let's go over here and take a look at this wonderful bass flute that I haven't pulled out yet. This plays one whole octave below the flute. It's very haunting, and I'm not just discussing funereal occasions. Supposing the stock market drops, or they decide to raise the price of bonds, and you're just feeling quite rattled. Well, maybe a couple of your friends who are in the same circumstances might want to come over, and you'll want some music for thought. Maybe like Amazing Grace.